Hello and welcome to FS Modern's new map for FS15, HollyHiillFarm. I'll start off with just quickly reading the brief here. Hello and welcome to HollyHiillFarm. This is a medium-sized British-styled map with medium to large fields set in and around a coastal village. We hope you enjoy your time on this map. Thank you, FS Modern. Okay, what I'll do here is I'll start the map up and I'll basically just do as I did the last time. I'll just give you a quick tour of all the major triggers and places within the map. Right, obviously this is your career start point here, and that is the main farmhouse. Adjacent to that here is the feeding pen for your sheep, and the gate for this field is just on up the lane there a bit. Okay, what I'll do here is I'll take these for a quick tour and a walk about the main farm itself. HollyHiillFarm. Got your chicken zone over here. 10 eggs as always will spawn in and around the straw piles there. That is one of two slurry points. That one there actually belongs to the BGA facility, which is round the back of the farm. I always attach it to the main farm rather than independent. This is one of sort of 4 sheds I've given you for plant machinery, whatever you want to use it for, and the storing of root crops, and your unloading pit, and your filling chute for all your crops, whether it be wheat, barley, canola, better known as rapeseed, and as I say, you've got your root crops on the floor in here with your conveyor belts going out through the side. And your filling chute is just up there, and your unloading pit for all your other grains is here. I've kind of done this backwards this time here. You've got a seed trigger here, and you have got a fertilise point here. You've got a bit of a maintenance shed here with room for parking vehicles and tools. You've got another bit of a shed round the back here. I've just put a dividing wall in between some of these sheds just to break them up a bit. I've got this storage shed over here, old type. I've kind of mixed new with old. You'll probably recognise those blue sheds as placeable items. I've just brought them into the map as the main structure or storage sheds for this map, and just added some new textures to the side. They're not a part of the building, they're all independent, you know, so you can remove them if you want, if you know how to use Giant Setup. You've got a storage shed here for your hay bales or your straw bales, be it square or round. And as always, you've got a storage shed here for loose straw and grass, if that's how you like to feed your animals. You've got 2 fermenting silos, got one here, and you've got one next door, and you can either use them for your cattle and your BGA work. Right, okay, starting machinery. I've more or less given you the same as I normally give you. I've changed it about a little bit. You've got the 7130 harvester there with that blade, Terraflex blade I think it is. You've got the New Holland 320 there. You've also got the Geotech 90. I never remember if it's a 94 or 95. It's 94, Geotech 94. I'll give you that 436 there, that Liebherr 436. I'll give you the Q and feed mixer. I'll give you the the Bandit Kipper 750. I'll give you the K-Rex 30S Forager. Give you that for your blade. Cedar Cultivator. Give you a square baler this time rather than a round baler. I much prefer to use a square if I'm honest, so I took the roll belt away and replaced it with that one. And you've got 1,000 kilogram weight there, and you've got a set of forks and a set of manure cum silage forks for the Weber telehandler. That is it in the way of machinery. Okay, over here you've got a water point and you've got a diesel point. Out through the back of the shed here, it basically just takes you to a bit of a lane that takes you as an entry point into one of the fields, and this is just a bit of a shortcut gate. As always, we've got all animals on this. I've already showed you the chicken zone, which is just at the back of the farmhouse there. And here you have your cattle zone. You've got your straw bedding trigger here. You've got your mixed ration trigger here. You've got your grass feeding through for the cattle here. This is the main pasture in here for the cattle. And up the top of this little hill you have the slurry point for your cattle, and you have a solid manure point here from your cattle as well. But that is more or less HollyHiillFarm itself. Not huge. I've kinda tried to mix new and old in here, just to sort of replicate that it's a growing farm. Okay, what I'll do here is I'll take you for a quick drive. And show you what is what. What I'll do is I'll take you to the forest side of things first. Now you're in a bit of a glen or a hollow down in here, and if you take left here up that lane, that will take you to where the forest yard is all set up. So we'll make our way up there. Now this road here was a bit like trial and error. I was just kind of playing about with the terrain this time on this map, just to make it a little bit more sort of interactive, so people can sort of enjoy the terrain more rather than just worrying too much about the farming. You can come up here and have a good play about with the forest stuff, and we've got a bit of a good road here. Up into the yard itself. Up into the yard itself is straight ahead, so that takes you into the main yard. Give you a couple of storage sheds there. Give you an open type sort of barn, and I'll give you that big wagon shed there, that closed in wagon shed. I'll give you some collision style posts there so you can store your logs if that's what it is you want to do. And I'll give you a bit of a loading ramp here. I know some people use the small T4s and stuff like that, or the small loaders, and some of these trailers or log trailers that are quite high sided, so there's nothing to stop you drawing your trailer up along the front of this loading ramp here, and you can use that there for the extra reach. But this here is more or less the forest yard. Now I've given you no place up here for storing your wood chip. The wood chip storage shed is down in the hollow beside the farm. I'll show you that when we're making our way back out. And my reasoning for that is simply because I wanted people to travel. So obviously once you get your trailer sort of filled up with wood chip, rather than just storing it in the storage shed right beside where you're working, you've got to kind of travel down the hill. So hopefully it'll kind of make this a little more interactive. Now straight in front is where we come up that bit of a hill. If you had turned left here, this road here would take you to the main forest yard as well by driving straight on here now. If you take left again, you'll see the caution sign there, road ahead closed. I was kind of playing about with a bridge at the back here, and some of it is collision, some of it is non-collision. So you cross it at your own risk. You may get stuck, you may not. So, good luck. I have got stuck once or twice on it myself, but I think when I first built it, a lot of it was non-collision. So it was quite near impossible to get across it. So I had to make a lot of the planks collision. But anyway, it's working and it is passable. Right, here, I'll just quickly jump out of this tractor here. If you go up this bit of an incline here, it'll take you to the map viewing platform. Just because simply this is a bit of a high point here, I thought, you know, I'll give you a bit of a viewing platform here. You just go to the side there and you can get up there, there we go. And that'll give you 360-degree view of the map. It's just a little smaller than a ×1 map. Be a default, be it ×4. So it's not the biggest map in the world. There is big fields out there. So I've classed it as medium to large fields, but it's most certainly not the biggest map in the world. But there, like I say in all my reviews or my tutorials, that there's more than enough to be getting on with. Okay, what I'll do here is we'll jump back into this 320 and I'll take you down to the wood chip storage shed, which is just down the bottom of the hill here. Now this is another road here. When you get up to that bad turn, when you're coming up the lane in onto the hill here, or the mountain, whatever you want to call it, you can turn right and it'll bring you along this road here. Like I say, some of the boards on this one are non-collision and collision, hence why you're getting your suspension movement there. Okay. Obviously your feeding through trigger for your sheet is along the front of this, and your wool pallet spawn point is here, straight in front of us. Let's put it into the main farm. Plenty of room there for when you're spawning pallets if you want to get them loaded up in multiples of 20 onto a trailer or whatever. And this here to the right is a little tight yard that you can store your wood chip. Okay, so this road here that we're on now kind of doubles up, be it the farm lane and the lane that takes you up to the forestry area. Okay, if you come out of there, you take a left, and then directly, slightly to your right a little bit there, you will see your buy and sell point for your vehicles. It's a Massey Ferguson dealership, and working diesel tanks here, or diesel pumps. Got your shock trigger at the side there, and you've got your sell point and sell trigger in behind. You've also got a bit of an inspection pit here. Oh, what I'll do here, just to see that this actually works, is I will buy us a pressure washer here, and we'll see if this works. Right, I know it works because I've actually done it already. Where I've got that pressure washer sitting there now, is about the only place that you can set it. I don't know what Giant's thinking was behind placing of some of these placeables, but obviously you can't place them in certain areas. And I'll give you enough reach on this as well, so you can go down underneath and wash your stuff from underneath. If that's what floats your boat. And you've got another diesel point over there to the right, and you've got another water point there over to your left. Okay, what I'll do here is I will take you down to the timber yard. So if we go back this way, every road, as always, has a function. The roads on this map are not all necessarily dead ends. They do actually bring you back round on yourself. I've managed to kind of join them up a little bit. But some of them obviously are dead ends. So if you get to a part of the road where it just stops into the tree boundary, then well, that's why it stopped. Because it's hit the boundary of the map. Like I say, it's only ×1. Okay. If you follow this road here, you'll come to this little lane. That lane has a function. It will take you down to a field. It's at the back of these two fields, field 8 and field 7. And obviously to make your way to field 9, you have to make your way down this lane. And the railway line that you see in front of you there is all collision. You won't be able to cross it, so we'll have to go down under it. And that takes you through the tunnel and out into field 9. If the fields join up with one another, there will most definitely be an obvious entry point to the field. There will also be a secondary exit point taking you on from one field to another field, just like this here. So if you do have two adjoining fields, then you will have a gate that will take you from one field into the other. Now, this lane here straight in front will eventually take you back down into the farmyard, and that takes you to the opening on that shed that I showed you when we first started this tutorial. And I'll give you that gate there as a bit of a shortcut into this field. And you've got this exit or entry point here that takes you back out onto the main road. Now, as always, all fences and hedges about fields are all non-collision. I would be confident enough to say that the map would be 99.9% hired help friendly. The fences that go around any of the cattle animal zones will be collision, and the village itself and houses that are dotted about the map and everything to do with them will be collision. That goes for the sell points as well. This is the timber yard here straight in front, and straight in front of the office there you have your buy trigger for buying your tree saplings. Underneath the actual shed itself you have the sell trigger for your logs. The wood chip sell point is independent to this yard. The wood chip sell point is down in the harbour, and I'll take you there in a minute. I'll just quickly take you to the grain store here now. If you come out of that yard there and just come onto this road here and follow this road here, it will eventually take you to the grain sell point, and you've got other working triggers there as well. You've got a diesel point, you've got a water point, you've got a bale destroyer, you've got a seed point, you've got a fertilise point, and you have the unloading pit to sell wheat, barley, canola, better known as rapeseed, potatoes and sugar beet. This is the grain store. Got a weight bridge here. Round the back you've got a diesel point there. If you take left here and left again, that'll take you to your unloading pit. And in the adjacent bay, just down here, this is your seed point, your water point and your fertilise point. And round the back you have your bale destroyer for selling your excess bales and straw. Okay, you come back onto this road here and head back towards the timber yard. We'll come to the harbour. Bit of a house there. No triggers related there, it's just a bit of fun. Just a house that sort of helped fill the landscaping a bit. The text log is clean, and I've had no running issues with this map at all. Frame rate does drop in certain places, but it will do that on most maps. Okay, this is the main harbour itself, quite tight down round about here, so if you plan to come down here with large long machinery, then be prepared to stop and have to turn and reverse here, because it's nice and tight. Okay, welcome to Holly Hill Harbour. You've got the ship in there. You've got McCall's the shop. for checking your finances and selling your eggs. Over this side, just for a bit of fun, you've got the harbour bed and breakfast. And then down in here, you've got a little bit of a small beach. The water is non-collision, so you won't have to reset your vehicles if you fall in by mistake. It'll just be a case of driving around the harbour wall and then trying to get out. But if you can't get out, then it'll just be a case of resetting your vehicle back to the main reset point, which is in the main farm. Okay, this is the wood chip company down here. Like I say, you'll most definitely have to reverse down here. You don't have to reverse, you can drive down here and sell your wood chip, but you'll most certainly be reversing back out, because it is just that, it's a harbour and it's a no through road, so you won't get through it. So working lighthouse from beyond home. I did recolour it, change the textures of the colour because it was a bit orange and I wanted it to look red and white. And the light does come on at 9 o'clock at night and go back off at the early hours of the morning. Over at the other side of the quay here, over at the far side there, we've got another sell point over there, which is your wool sell point. And again, if you're driving down to that sell point, then you'll most definitely be reversing out. What I'll do is I'll take you down there. You can't get to the wool sell point from this side of the harbour. You've got to drive back up to the village here. Take a left here. Like I say, the village is nice and tight here, so if you plan to use big machinery, then you're going to have your work cut out because it's nice and tight. And this is the wool sell point here, and your wool sell trigger is here. But that, as always, is a short tutorial on HollyHiillFarm. I hope you enjoy your time on the map. Big thank you from FS Modern, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.